Now, I don't care what you have to say, but that should not be allowed. It should be a crime for journalists to knowingly and willingly lie to the American people. Later on, take the information, take the truth to put in a book so they can make money.
This is a bombshell. It's a new book that is revealing how the Biden administration lied to the American people. That's the only way you can characterize it. They lied to us for years about his condition.
Some people ask whether you are fit for the job. And when you hear that, I wonder what you think. Watch me.
And just how big of a role did the legacy media and the people in his circle play in covering it up? A pretty big one.
I couldn't be prouder of him. And again, we're very fortunate that he is in that position.
I meet frequently with the president, and every single time I meet with him, he is just fine.
The most difficult part about a meeting with President Biden is preparing for it, because he is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
Well, now there's another book, and it claims that staffers even considered getting him a wheelchair.
Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. You know, I can't even keep up with it. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is not a question that we should be even asking. Just look at the work that he does. Look how he's delivering for the American public.
Part of the book says, quote, Biden's physical deterioration had become so severe that there were internal discussions about putting the president in a wheelchair, but they couldn't do so until after the election. So politics over the health of the president.
That's how much these Democrats don't care about the American people. They don't care about America. They don't care. They will do and say anything to keep the power.
76% of voters are concerned about whether the president has the necessary mental and physical health to be president for a second term.
And I'm telling you, this guy's tough. He's smart.
Joe Biden's decision to go forward is a decision that we will all embrace.
And we're joined now by President Biden's personal attorney, Bob Bauer. This past week alone, the president, in public remarks, mixed up the leaders of France, Germany, and he referred to Egypt as Mexico. Does the president have any memory problems?
He does not.
We knew you were lying because we saw what President Biden looked like. It should, and that's why when President Trump calls CNN, ABC, when he calls them fake news, guys, he is not over-exaggerating, because these left-wing legacy media, they are in fact fake news.
You obviously work very closely with President Biden as a member of his cabinet. And I wonder, have you ever seen anything that makes you question or concerned about his mental faculties?
No.
Wow. And according to the book, Biden's own doctor, Kevin O'Connor, was worried about him dying. Quote, long privately expressed concerns, Mr. O'Connor did, about the toll that the presidency was taking on Biden's health. O'Connor sometimes quipped that Biden's staff members were trying to kill him while he was trying to keep him alive. Maybe a little lighthearted, maybe not, but concerning nonetheless. One former Biden aide recounted just how deep the cover-up went, saying, quote, we attempted to shield him from his own staff, so many people didn't realize the extent of the decline beginning in 2023. It was a disservice to the country and to the party for his family and advisors to allow him to run again.
I don't think any of us is surprised, truly, because we keep seeing over and over again how the Democrats are anti-Americans.
It's one of the many details in the soon-to-be-released new book titled Original Sin, President Biden's Decline, its cover-up, and his disastrous choice to run again. It was written by Axios' Alex Thompson and CNN's own Jake Tapper. Jake is here to join us now. I'm curious about what his advisors were saying at the time, as you look at this, as you reported out this book.
So the White House physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, was telling White House aides that President Biden's deterioration of his spine, the degeneration, was so significant that if he fell one more time, that he might have to be in a wheelchair and serve in a wheelchair for his second term. But everybody pushed off the notion that he used a wheelchair until after the election. This is all part of a larger whole where the Biden White House tried to hide the extent of his deterioration, both physical and...
No, it's not the Biden White House. You guys from the left-wing media help to hide the information from the American people. Everybody could see President Biden was not physically able to serve. We knew that.
I'm just curious as to whether or not this kind of trying to hide what was happening with the president at the time had an impact on the press corps. Like, why didn't we hear some of these details from what they actually saw and were dealing with trying to get information?
Well, Alex Thompson and I were on the case, as were lots of other reporters, trying to figure out what was going on behind the scenes. But the bottom line is the White House was lying, not only to the press, not only to the public, but they were lying to members of their own cabinet. They were lying to White House staffers. They were lying to Democratic members of Congress, to donors about how bad things had gotten. And in fact, Alex and I started writing this book after the election of 2024. And we spoke with more than 200 people, most of whom, almost all of whom, were Democrats, and almost all of whom wouldn't be honest with us or wouldn't be candid with us until after the election. And then after the election, we found out all of these things that when you looked at what was going on with President Biden at the time, it probably doesn't surprise you the extent to which he was deteriorating. But now we have anecdotes and facts about what was really going on behind the scenes with details that Democrats wouldn't share with us until after Election Day.
Jake Tapper, who are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? So you want us to believe you found out about the Biden situation after the election, while you spent years lying to the American people. President Biden is fine, nothing to worry about. And then later on, after the election, that's when you found out that President Biden was in critical condition. And after you found out, you did not come and say, you know what, the American people, I apologize, I'm sorry. I did not know. I lied to you. You didn't do that. You went and write a book. Now, I don't know what type of regulations all these fake journalists from CNN have to follow, but they should take away the license because the Democrats paid them to lie to the American people, which they did. Later on, they came and say, hey, if you want to know the truth, buy my book. What are we talking about here, guys? Now, the only thing I'm gonna say is I hope the American people are paying attention. Everyone around President Biden knew he was not physically nor mentally fit to serve this country. None of them brought the impeachment. None of them said, President Biden, you are not going to run again. They all stayed quiet. That's how far they are willing to go to keep the power. They are willing to play nasty game. They are willing to lie. They are willing to divide. They are willing to do whatever it takes in order to remain in power. They do not care about the American people. They do not care about America. Because if you really care about this country, you would want someone to lead this country. You would want a person that has the mental capacity in case something goes really wrong and we need a strong leader. I'm just gonna say, God protected this nation. God protected America by not letting this incompetent woman named Kamala Harris to win this election. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop there. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, leave a comment, let me know what you think. We are approaching 1,000 subscribers. Come on now. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. 1,000 subscribers soon. But I'll see you guys in the next video, man. I'll see you in the next video.